Hello everyone, this is Jody Heath. So from time to time, people at work ask me how to make scannable barcodes. So today I'm gonna show you how to make replacement barcodes for the workplace when the ones on your badge don't work. So to better set the context, our iStats, glucometers, CLINITEK Analyzers all have these scanning functions. They emit that diffuse red light from a laser diode. So these devices have the ability to scan employee barcodes for a faster logging in function so our employees don't have to manually enter their credentials each time. The reason for this is the barcodes printed on the front of our traveler's badges are not always scannable for whatever reason. And I'm referring to up here, I've kind of blurred it out, but this is where the barcode is, and normally you should be able to scan this. The numbers work fine if you punch them in. You just can't use the barcodes for scanning. But that manually entering of the credentials wastes a huge amount of time and efficiency when you should be able to just scan the barcode. I did put in a work order to rectify this. It hasn't been fixed, so here's a workaround. We're going to create a barcode using an employee number that I made up while utilizing one of the many free online barcode generators, such as this one. I'll put a link in the description, but the website is barcode.tech-it.com. I've tested it out in Chrome and Explorer. They both work fine. I always use this linear code 128 that it always defaults to when the page loads. And I'll leave the evaluate escape sequences checked. Also, usually loads checked at default. So the employee number I'm going to make up is going to be NC2532. And then I'm going to click Create Sequence. And you have your barcode here to the right. Now to get this image file, you could screenshot it, but I wouldn't, because the screenshot image might not be as sharp as the actual image. Therefore, you should just save the image in its original format, which is a GIF or GIF, and because you probably want that high quality image for scanning. And again, you want to start with the highest quality image you can. That gives you a better chance of having or producing a high quality rendering in the printed barcode. So to get that higher quality image, right click on the download button and then left click on the save link as. Now you're going to save it as the first and last name of your employee. We're going to arbitrarily choose Amber Heard. Now this is just for demo, but the file name, as you'll see in a moment, is going to be extremely important. So you have your image of the employee number and the employee's respective barcode, and you have that image named appropriate for the same employee. Now you're going to open a blank Word document. Set the top margin to 0.19, and it's in inches. Now click bold. And then go ahead and click the center button to center on page. Go to the folder which contains the file that you just saved and slowly click the file name twice and click Ctrl C to copy it. Go back to your Word document and hit Ctrl V to paste it. And then hit the Shift plus Enter key to put it on the next line, but single space. Go back to the folder, left click on the image once, and then hit Control C. Go back to your Word doc and left click under the employee name and hit Control V to paste the image. Now you're going to reduce the size of that image to 70% of what it was before for a better fit. So just right click on the image, click on size and position, and just change that to 70. Make sure you have lock aspect ratio checked and relative to original picture size checked, and then click OK. And you'll see they both end up being 70%. We've already created a clean line for the top of the image by narrowing that margin to 0.19. If for some reason your printer doesn't print that close to the edge, you can just increase the margin incrementally until you find that printable area of your printer. And now this will give us a nice clean straight edge for the bottom portion of that image. Just to make it easier, make sure you're clicked in the lower right hand corner of the image. Now make sure you're on the Home tab and then click the Borders symbol and select Horizontal Line. Now I want you to click again one more time in the lower right hand corner of that image and hit the Delete button to bring that horizontal line up enough. So now you have an approximately equal amount of space in the top margin and the soon-to-be bottom margin of the image. So now you can just print it out and cut along the horizontal line. And then you can just eyeball it to get it approximately even on both sides as you fold the edges over like I did. So folding it over upon itself carries several benefits. Number one, you don't have to cut anything else. But number two, you're essentially creating two layers of paper on the back of this thing, which will minimize the likelihood of getting any bleed through that could create artifact that could ultimately affect the success rate of the scanning process. And then you'll end up with something like this. And then they can slide the paper between the back of their badge and that laminate badge holder. Remember, I mentioned before that you'll see why the file name was so important. So the last step in this, and probably the most important, is after printing these barcodes out, you'll want to triple check that the name on the barcode matches the employee number on file. Because you can imagine, especially in the medical field, the chaos that could ensue if you gave someone the correct name, but the incorrect barcode derived from another employee. By the way, don't forget to save the file as the employee name in case you need to print it later or print them all later. I usually just make up as many of these as I can or need at the time, and then I usually just batch print them and cut them all at one time. And if you need to make more of these, the good news is your template is done. It's just a few quick steps to make another one. So just go back to the folder where you saved your image. Just as before, you're going to find that next barcode you want to create, the one you've already saved as a different file name. You're going to left click twice slowly on the file name, copy it with Control C, and then you're going to go back to that Word document and you're going to highlight over the previous name, paste in the new name, and you'll go back to your folder and you're going to grab the barcode itself by left clicking once on the file, Control C, go back to your Word document, and now you're going to go ahead and delete the previous barcode and hit Control V again to put the new barcode in. And now we just got to change the size of it and we'll be done. Let's change it to 70% as before. And you're finished. So this basically becomes your template for all the future ones that you want to create. And we'll just go ahead and save this as a new file name, and you'll have it for reference for future printouts. By the way, one of our educators, Natasha, takes another approach. The barcodes that she creates, she puts them on these small, kind of like mailing labels, with that adhesive backing, and then the travelers can just stick them on the back of their badges. So that's another option for you. So let me know if you have any questions. Take care.